Okay, so I decided today that we're going to talk about everybody's perceptions. I know it's an odd thing to chat about, but I truly believe that our perception, especially as a coach, means everything while you're being a coach. So that's why I decided to do it, because I know that everybody, like almost all of my coaches, and myself included, have been struggling with like the mental aspect, like the mental game of the business. And that is literally what the first year is, and it continues on. But soon you learn to master the mental game. So I want to really hammer perception, because I think it is really important and really vital to every new coach or every coach in general. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is how your perception of yourself, of Beachbody, of your potential coaches, your potential customers, that becomes your reality, especially when you're thinking about it all the time. So this is going to sound like, I don't know what the word is. Brianna, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's going to sound stupid, I guess. I guess that's the best word I can come up with right now. But honestly, like, I truly believe in this. And I believe that what you think about yourself and what you think about the business is what is going to turn out and be in front of you, because you're attracting what you're putting out, basically. So if you're constantly negative all the time, you're going to attract negative people, right? And I have done this myself. So that's the only reason why I can say that. Because there was a point at the very beginning of my coaching career, I guess, I was a negative person. And how I know that is because I was being negative, so I was attracting negative people. And that was really, really hard for me, because I couldn't figure out why I was attracting all these negative, draining coaches. And it was because I, the leader of my team, was being negative, and it was trickling down to the rest of my team. So I decided to change my mindset from that point on, and this is like my 5th or something month, and I had signed like 2 coaches up, and all they would ever message me about is negative things that were going on, and they never wanted to try to do anything for themselves about the negative things going on. So that is why I decided to do this. So like I said, everybody has their own perception, right? So when you look at this glass, I love this analogy, so that's why I put this picture on here, is when somebody looks at a glass and it's half full of water, some people will think that it's half full and some people will think it's half empty, right? And that is all according to your own perception, right? So my question to you is, do you think that this glass is half full, or do you think it's half empty? So I'm just going to let you guys think about that for a second. Life is full of variables. Doubts breed doubt. So I've noticed this a lot, and it's not just one coach, but I've noticed a lot of people are doubting the system, okay? So I have had to learn through trial and error. So I don't give it to you guys unless I know that it's worked for me. So that's how you know that it's okay, because I've tested it out myself. So I know it works for myself. And if you want to find another way and waste time that way, you can. And you can always make whatever I hand you better. But I have things that do work for me, and so I know they're going to work. So if you're gonna doubt the process, then you're going to breed doubt from your potential customers and coaches. So what I mean by that is, if you haven't sent an invite, and I only say this because I used to do this too. So if you're like dreading this invite, thinking that someone's going to say no, thinking that that you don't want to come off salesy to this person, guess what? When you send that message and you start talking to this person, you are going to come off salesy. Why? Because you're doubting yourself, and it's what you're perceiving in your head is what is going to happen in your message. And I only say that because, like I said, I did the same thing. So learn from my mistakes. Like I always tell you guys, learn from my mistakes, and just like, I want you to honestly, like, don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt the process. Just do what I tell you, and you'll be good. Okay. So once again, we go back to the half full or half empty question, right? Even if it appears low, so even if the glass appears that it's low, the true champion will note there is still something left, right? And that's the positive person's perspective. There's still something in the cup. So it's not empty, but it's full, right? And I want you to think of this too, because even a small flame can light an entire room of darkness. So I thought that was really interesting. I read that quote today and I'm like, whoa. It's true though. If you light just even a small light, it's going to light a whole room, right? So if you don't turn on the light, then obviously the room's going to be dark, right? So if you don't light the light, then there's not going to be any light in the dark room. But as soon as you figure out that positive thing in that negative situation, the room's going to turn to light because you've seen the light, essentially. Okay. So the first exercise that I want you guys to do is think of a time in your life you were delivered a curveball and you turned it into a hit. You had your doubts at first. You were surprised by something unexpected, something that set you back in some way. I want you to think of that time in your life, okay? It was painful. It might have even been agonizing or humiliating, but you worked through it and came stronger, wiser, more confident on the other side, right? So I am going to share an example. So you guys always hear about me talking about my depression, blah, blah, blah. I always talk about that. But what you guys don't know is the time in my life that I decided I needed that change. And I was actually going to throw a picture of it because I have an actual picture of the moment that I was most disgusted with myself. And it was right after I had attempted to do an insanity workout that my brother lent me, and it was my 6-week day mark that I decided when my doctor gave me the okay, I'm like, I'm going to do this, and I didn't even make it through the warm-up, and I was throwing up in my bathroom. And I went to the mirror after I was done throwing up in the toilet. I got up. I was in my sports bra and my husband's basketball shorts because nothing else fit me. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror and wondering how I got to this point. How I let myself gain 70 pounds. And being worried on how I was going to get all that off and build the confidence back up that I had lost. And it was that moment that I realized all the confidence I had lost in myself and how disappointed I was. And I understand that I had a baby. I grew a baby inside me, but there's a difference, and I definitely know now the difference of going to the extremes and gaining weight to the extremes and gaining weight. Oh, thanks, please. Just being wow, I just lost my train of thought. So I knew the difference between gaining weight to the extremes, and now that I've had Lakin, I've learned the balance. But I honestly don't think I would have ended up becoming a coach or looking for a solution to my weight loss problem if I wouldn't have had that moment in my life where I realized something needed to change. So I know each one of you have a moment or a curveball that you have hit some point in your life and you may be in the middle of it right this second, but you need to learn to turn those challenges into triumphs, and you need to learn to turn those curveballs into hits. And the minute that you do that, and the quicker you learn how to do that, the better and stronger your mind's going to get, because you're going to realize that you can overcome those things more quickly. And it wasn't until I started doing personal development that I started really dealing with things from my past more. So I decided to do something about my weight loss, but little did I know there's more hidden that I didn't know. I was suffering from depression. I didn't know that. They put me on medication, and then I got taken off of it a couple months after doing the 21-day fix and drinking the Shakeology, because that stuff was helping me personally. And then it was after that my mind started getting stronger, but then things got brought up from the past that my stepbrother had done, and that was truly an agonizing, painful moment for me to relive. But I know that if I wasn't in the right mindset, I wouldn't have been able to deal with that at the time that I did. And now, because I went through that and I helped my siblings through it, it's made me not only a stronger sister, but it helped me learn that I need to speak out and speak for myself. And that is something that I learned from that. And it took me a couple months, but the second that I learned why I was having this issue in the first place was when I felt better, and I learned from it and I grew from it, right? So that's what all of these life's experiences, these curveballs are here for, is to teach us something. So the quicker we learn what we're supposed to be learning from it, and the quicker we learn what to learn from it and what we need to do to fix it, the better leaders we're going to become, and the more positive we're going to be. Okay, so this is another cool thing. I love this quote. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So I want to say, it was Brigitte. So Brigitte Linford at the Sagi event mentioned this quote, and it's stuck with me since. And honestly, what thoughts you put in your head is going to be what you become. So if you're thinking that you're this fat, depressed, worthless, not good mom who's lazy and you don't get anything done in the day, and you're just going to be stuck in the same spot that you are and you aren't going to lose any weight, guess what? That is what's going to happen, because you're already putting those negative thoughts into your head, and that is seeping into your subconscious, and it's going to come out in your actions, especially the more that you tell yourself that. So you need to be putting positive thoughts in your mind and in your brains, because then you will perceive positive actions. And that is what I have about that. So as a coach, I feel like confidence is critical to the success factor in coaching and in any aspect, I guess, in your life. But you have to have confidence, because the moment that you start developing confidence in yourself, people are going to see that, and you are going to seem like this happier person to other people, and they're going to see that the minute that you start believing and building confidence in yourself. So how do you build confidence in yourself, right? For me, I learned to build confidence the second that I started losing weight and I started getting my body back. That is how I started to build my confidence. But it grew bigger when I started strengthening my mind with personal development. So when I was listening to Celine Johnson's podcast on bettering yourself, and like that, like just listening to that, even when I'm cleaning, that seeps into my subconscious mind. And in turn, it makes me more positive. So call me crazy, but I promise it works. I've been doing it and it does work. But it truly works. So the second that one of you coaches comes to me and you start telling me, I am having a rough time, like I can't seem to be getting anybody to sign up, I am too afraid to invite these people, guess what? I will ask you if you have been listening to or reading personal development. Because honestly, reading and listening to personal development is what has given me the confidence to even invite people. Because I am a shy person, and anybody that truly knows me knows that if I'm in like a public area, and even if I see you, that I don't, like it sounds really bad, but I'll pretend like I don't see you because I'm so shy. And so, like, if I run into you, like Ashley, to be honest, Ashley, I didn't even see you until you came up to see me. But normally, if I see people I know, I do look down and pretend like they didn't see me. But I've gotten better. Like, if I would have seen you, I would have said hi to you, by the way. But if I would have ran into one of you when I first started as a coach, you bet I'd go and I would hide down the next aisle so I didn't have to talk to people. So, like, honestly, personal development is where it's at. And you're going to hear all of us coaches, the top coaches, especially Scotty Hobbs. He is the biggest introvert ever. Like, and you know that people are big introverts when you go and talk to them in person and they clam up and they don't talk and they make you feel weird. And I've learned that the more events I go to. But Scotty's gotten better, just so you guys know. And I can come off awkward too. So that confidence is crucial. So you need to start building that confidence in yourself. Okay, questions to ask yourself in the morning when you wake up, okay? I want you to ask what you believe about yourselves. What do you see from someone else's eyes? So if I was looking at Brianna's Facebook page, what am I going to see and how am I going to perceive her in my eyes? So what do we think that other people are looking at us with? Okay. So if you answer that question, oh, well, I think that they see me as a shy person, or this person doesn't really show up to their Facebook page, so I don't really think that they're committed. Like, this is truly like what you should be asking yourself. So if somebody, this is what Scotty asked me this one time when I first started as a coach. He said, what are you putting on your Facebook page? And I'm all, well, I'm taking Shakeology selfies. And he's like, what are you throwing out to help other people? And I'm like, oh. And when Scotty Hobbs calls you out on something, like, watch out, because it makes you feel really dumb. So from that point on, like, I really, like, I'm not even joking, at least one time a week, I go to my own Facebook page, I scroll through my news feed, and I see all my posts that I've made. If there is even one post that I'm ashamed of, then the next week I try to redeem myself with a better post. Like, that sounds really stupid, but it goes back to the quote, the only person you're competing against is yourself, right? Because you're only trying to be better than you were yesterday. So that's what I always think of when I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed. So what you are throwing out into the universe, or in this case on your Facebook page, is what people are going to see you as. So if I'm posting a lot of pictures about my family, then obviously people are going to think I'm a family person, right? If I am throwing out these negative posts or sharing these negative quotes, like, people are going to perceive you as negative, right? Yeah? Okay, Ashley's nodding at least. Okay, so what we throw out is what we're going to get back. So that goes to Facebook too, okay? So don't be posting negative crap unless you have something followed with a positive, right? Because like I said before, whenever we post something negative, we want to come back with a positive, because as a coach, we should be turning those negative situations into something positive. And like, you'll see that whenever I post anything about me being depressed, I always talk about usually how I've overcame it, or what's helped me become better because of it, and what I've learned from it, right? So that's what you should be doing as coaches too. The next important question is, what do we expect of ourselves? And truth is, we are more hard on ourselves than anybody else, right? Yeah. Like, I know I'm way, way hard on myself when I know, and I've had coaches say, why do you even have that kind of an expectation of yourself? Like, that is crazy. And it's just because, like, I like to push myself to the limits, like the very, very edge limit, because I want to make sure I'm pushing myself. But there's a difference by being like crazy versus stupid. So, like, you shouldn't expect things that, like, okay, here's how you get rid of this. So if you can think of something, so for instance, like if I came out with like a thing where my first year as a coach, I set out to be in the Millionaires Club, right? Okay, that is ridiculous because nobody's done that yet. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point or another, but it has not happened yet. So that is a ridiculous thing for me to expect of myself, right? Now, if I were to say, okay, I want to be an elite coach my first year as a coach, okay, that is more tangible, okay? Because I have seen Brigitte Linford went elite her first year as a coach, or her second year, one of the two. I'm pretty sure and Jen Burgess, prime example. She went 3-star diamond in, was it 3 months? 6 months? It was 6 months, right, Brianna? She told us at the retreat that I had anyways, she went 3-star super fast. She went diamond in less than 30 days. So it can happen, people. It's all in your perception and perspective. Okay, so I'm going back to, what are we calling into our lives by what we think? So that is what you should be asking yourself in the morning. So I have told a bunch of my coaches, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on a call before, but I have in my bathroom my monthly goals and my words of affirmations to myself. And the second I wake up in the morning, lately I have been purposefully taking out my contacts, so I know I have to go in the bathroom to put them on. So when I put them on, I look up in my mirror and I read them out loud, because you're reading them, so that's one way to go into your subconscious. When you say them out loud, that is also getting it into your brain the second time. Then when I'm done working out and I go change out into my clothes, I go back through my bathroom and I read through them again. Okay? Because the more positive affirmations we give to ourselves, the more positive we're going to become and the more things we're going to be able to achieve. So I have all my goals and all my words of affirmation, and I drew them on my mirror with a dry erase marker so that when I shower, it doesn't run down my mirror, because I've done it with the other marker and didn't end so well. I end up having to like redo it every day. So no one's got time for that. So dry erase marker. And you can also, I know Megan Gutke, she prints hers off and puts them by her computer, because we know that we're going to do our power every day, right? Because we're successful coaches and we do our power hour every single day. Even if we don't want to, we do it anyways. Okay? So the next question is, with every problem we need to solve, what do we anticipate? So what that question means is, if our kid comes to us, because we all have kids, so if our kid comes to us whining whining that like she needs cereal, okay, because this is what my kid does every day. So she comes whining to me that she needs cereal. So I know and I anticipate in my mind that if I don't go and help my 3-year-old get her cereal, she will do it herself and she will make a huge mess, okay? So sometimes we have to think about things and solve them before they happen, right? So we need to solve the problem sometimes before it happens, but you don't want to analyze. You don't want to analyze the situation though. So what I mean by that is, for instance, when I started as a coach, my challenge groups, I wanted them to be perfect. So I didn't invite. Go have Daddy fix it. Hurry, go have him fix it. So, sorry. So for instance, if we as coaches, when I first started as a coach, my challenge group, I'm a perfectionist. So that's why half the time I don't like to release things until I know that I have tried them myself. And then I have my coaches do it. And part of that is my perfectionism self. And believe it or not, I have gotten better because of Chalene Johnson. But when I started as a coach, I wanted my challenge groups to be perfect. So I tried to reinvent the challenge group system. And oh my gosh, I was an idiot. Because that just added more stress than I already had in my life. And I should have just freaking copy and pasted their dang templates and fixed just the few that I didn't like, because there are some posts that I didn't like. And so I redid the whole dang thing, the whole 30 days. Like, I am an idiot and I wasted so much time and I'm so mad still to this day that I did that. And that is why, like, you don't want to over analyze things. Use what you have, but don't try to over problem solve. Just solve the problem before it happens, okay? So that's why I have trainings to train you guys on what to do so that you don't have to over analyze things, and I take out the guesswork for you guys because I have tried everything. Trust me. Okay, so does our perception really become our reality? The answer is yes. So is it worth identifying a challenger's assumptions of things, especially when they limit us and hold us back from success? So if somebody assumes that we're Beachbody coaches and that all we want is a sale, and that's why we won't send an invite, is because we know that that's what they're going to see when we try to just talk to them, right? That is going to hold us back as coaches. So you can't let those things hold you back from doing what you're supposed to do, which is building relationships with people. And I don't ever want to hear from anyone else ever again that you don't have friends that you can invite to things, because that is a bunch of BS. And I will just say it, okay? Because you know how many millions and trillions of people are on Facebook? And yes, you may not have any mutual friends with them, but there are ways. And if you do the trainings like I've made for you, you learn how to connect with those people, okay? So don't ever ask me or tell me, because I started out with like 250 friends when I started. And now I don't even know how many I have, to be honest. I was talking to my husband, and I think he told me that I have like 3,000 friends or something now. But guess what? They all didn't add me. I add 5 people every single day. I don't care if they know me, but I do try to make sure they have similar interests that I do, so that I have a conversation to start with somebody. Because that is how you're going to start caring about somebody, is by analyzing people. And you're going to get better at it the more that you do it. So I don't go and just go to the people that Facebook thinks that I should friend. I go into like groups that I have similar interests in. We all have groups that we're in. So whether we're in like an Idaho Falls group with a bunch of moms in there, like, start adding those people. that look like you would get along with them, that look like they could be a good fit to your team. Because that's honestly the only people I ever invite, is people that I think would make a great fit and they look like we have the same perception with things. And I can do that by looking at somebody's profile picture most of the time. I know that sounds nuts, but it's because I've been doing it for 2 years. So you'd think that I would get good at it, right? So we attract what we think. We talked about that already probably like 500 times this call. But we call into our lives that which we are calling, or from the heart, from the mind. So it goes back to, we attract what we throw out. What we think and perceive about ourselves is what we're going to throw out. So we want to make sure when we're doing posts on Facebook that we are being positive. And even if something negative and horrible has happened to us, like Ashley McAndrew here, she is a great example of this. She had surgery, and I have another coach actually that has been through like 5 surgeries this past year. And
hey, Nate.
Hey, Sissy. Hi. But so Ashley is a prime example of somebody who, even though she can't do workouts, people, she is still eating healthy. She's drinking her shakes. She's still inviting people. And I know this because she gets on the power hours with me, and she gets it done even though she feels like crap, and she's on pain meds, and she just had surgery like 2 weeks ago. Like, you guys have no excuses. Like, the minute that you start throwing out excuses, I'm going to start throwing back unexcuses. I think that's how I'm going to word it, unexcuses. Because you guys don't have any, like, unless you're, like, dying on your deathbed, okay, I'll let that slide if you're in the hospital. But, like, seriously, like, you guys should have no excuses, because people are doing this and they are throwing away all the excuses possible. So, like, I was going back to Ashley. So she can't work out, but she's still posting about drinking her shakes. She is posting about, I saw her the other day. I think it was today. Maybe it was today. Maybe it was yesterday. One of the 2 days. I saw her. She took a picture of one of her kids drinking her Shakeology. And she's been on power hours dealing with her kids, and I've seen every single one of my coaches do this. We all have kids. We're all moms first and foremost. And that is the nice thing about this business, is I do it like almost every day. Like, currently, you guys saw that. My kids come in and we're able to stop what we're doing and we help them. But people aren't going to know. People are going to think, oh, well, they just block out like 4 hours and they find a sitter, or they lock their kids in their room and they just leave them in there and let them fend for themselves why they work on business. And it's not true. But people aren't going to know that unless we share it. So we need to make sure that we're being more positive, because if we're posting positive things, we're going to attract positive people. And the last thing I want is for any of my coaches to attract anybody negative, because that is physically and emotionally draining. Trust me, I've done it before. Okay. So the second exercise, think of a time in your life when you approached an important situation or a person with total confidence. Okay. So over time, like Brianna, she was the one, it's kind of embarrassing. She was like one of the first people I ever invited to a challenge group. And when we went to Island Park, we were talking about the message I sent her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I die every time we talk about that, because it was seriously like the most horrible message ever. I don't even know why I sent it. It's so embarrassing. But like, that's the thing, is like, at that point, like, I was feeling pretty confident about myself, but like now, like, my confidence has built up so much that I don't even have to bring out an initial invite like that. And it was something stupid. Like, I should have Brianna screenshot it and post it in the group, because like, it was so embarrassing. Like, don't ever do that. Whatever I said, like, don't do it, because it was total salesy, like horribly bad. And so I don't know if it was out of like, I've always wanted to ask her this, if it was out of like pure pity that she bought a challenge pack so that I would leave her alone, or if it was because she really wanted to change, because she told me that she bought it and then she didn't do anything with it for like a year. So I'm going to go with the pity side because she's sick of hearing from me. So don't be that annoying coach. Like, be the friend, be the example, the rest will come. Okay? So learn from my mistakes, because that was really embarrassing. So, obviously with time, I've gained more confidence. So I feel like I'm to the point now where if somebody tells me no, like, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just go find somebody else. Like, that's the mentality that you guys need to develop, is the, oh, okay, well, she said no, I'm going to invite her to my free group. If she still tells me, well, that's okay, I'm still going to be her friend, but I'm just going to find somebody else. That's the kind of mindset that we should have as coaches. And the quicker we learn that, the faster your business is going to grow. Because, and the book I would recommend for that, and it's in the training videos for you that are not doing the training videos, it is Go for No. And I don't even remember, my book's by my bed, so, because I read it all the time. But Go for No. Good book on when people tell you no, how to get over it fast and how to deal with it. Because when I first started as a coach, when somebody told me no, I was like devastated, and I wouldn't invite people for like 2 weeks because it like took a blow to my ego so bad. Like, that sounds horrible. But I literally wouldn't invite anybody for 2 weeks, and you want to know why? It's because I wasn't doing the vital behaviors, especially personal development. And you guys are going to hear me harp on this all the time. So you might as well just start reading and listening so that I don't have to talk about it anymore, even though I probably will still. But anyways, so basically, like, that important situation that you approach with total confidence, like, it built your confidence even more, right? For those that have sold a challenge pack, like, I still remember when I sold my first challenge pack, and I was like on cloud 9, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. Like, this is gonna work. And the first time somebody ordered Shakeology, like, that was just, I don't even know how to explain that feeling, but that was a total confidence booster right there, because I knew I could do it. It was a matter of just doing it. Okay. All right. So some lessons carry a lot of weight, right? So I had been carrying my lesson of what my stepbrother had done for a long time. And it finally weared on me enough to where I wanted to do something about it. And sometimes things are going to do that. And you're going to have these secrets that you don't want to share with the Facebook world. But when you feel like you're ready, you're going to open the window to connect with so many more people. And that is the only reason why I got gutsy enough to do it, was because Scotty Hobbs told me to. So that's what I have to say about that. But when you are searching for something and you are coming up with these excuses like, well, I'm not going to finish this coach's training because nobody else is doing it. Like, that is finding blame in somebody else, when in reality, you guys signed up as a coach. You wanted the help. You wanted the training. So get your butts in gear and get it done. Like, that is all I have to say about that. Like, quit pointing the blame to somebody else, because yes, I used to blame my upline because she would never help me with anything. And she just wanted me to help her, and I felt like I couldn't because I was trying to help my coaches. And so as soon as I set aside that blame and I started realizing that I am in charge of me and I am in charge of my team, and if I can lead myself and my coaches follow and they start seeing success, then I know that I'm doing well. And I will be 100% honest in saying my confidence with leading was like crud before Brianna became a coach, because all of my coaches before her, they were basically discount coaches. And well, besides Alyssa. And Alyssa went Emerald really fast, and so did Brianna. But Brianna kept doing the things that I was telling her to, and guess what? She was seeing success. And I think it was like the second month as a coach, she hit Success Club 6. Then the next month, she hit 5. And she's like right there up with me every single month. And it's like a competition that I have with her, because I don't like people being better than me. So it like pushes me even further. And I've told her that before. So like that kind of thing, and viewing your own, finding blame for somebody else for what you're not doing, that is solely on your own shoulders, not on anybody else's. So you have the same trainings, you have the same coach online office as everybody else. It's on how you apply things. So if this cuts us off, then hop back on. Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. So I really like this quote, because it teaches you to reach further than what you think you can go. Because there's also another quote, but I didn't put it on here. It was something along the lines of, even if you shoot for the moon and you miss, you'll at least land amongst the stars. So that is why I always set my goals so high, because I know even if I come just a little bit short, I know I'm still going to grow as a person. So if your goal right now is to become Emerald, I want you to change it and push for something harder. Really push yourself,